Hi, intrepid viewers. Big shout out from down under. So, sorry I got a bit caught up over the last few days, so I'm going to make it up to you. I'm home alone today, so I'm going to do a series of readings because, of course, there's massive amounts of ground to cover. So, this first one's going to be about the shutdown, about the appointment of Barr and Mueller. So we'll see how those are all travelling, and then we've got much more to get to as well. But the shutdown, I'm not seeing a quick resolution to this at the moment, I have to say. So let's look at what's happening with the shutdown and where it's going. The shutdown. All right, here we go. Oh, I think my cards are upside down. It's not a reversal. Let me just do that. Yes, well, Trump on top. Oh, all right. Yes. Okay. Now with this, it all comes back to Trump, not surprisingly. Why wouldn't it? He took on the mantle. As the king, he can do that. He has the mantle of the shutdown draped around his shoulders. He asked for it, he begged for it, he wanted it, he thought it would be a good thing to do. There he is, the King of Pentacles, the greedy king. All about me, and he thought it'd play well for him. He really did. He is possibly the most deluded man in America as we sit here. So, as if that didn't point to enough about greed and money and misreading the situation, the dynastic money, the generations of money. Now, this has a flip side because of the people who are affected. This is about family money. So when it's related to Trump, it's about all the things he thinks about, because he's sure as hell not thinking about governing America in the interests of the majority of Americans, thinking about his own family, dynasty and money. But the other side is family money for mere mortals, who are real people who had real jobs until 3 or 4 weeks ago, who have real children, and their family finances have been radically impacted. Trump not only can't win this, he's desperate for a way out, and I'm not entirely convinced there is one, certainly not a face-saving one. So, the 3 swords at the prone figure, if the figure gets up, they're going to be stabbed by 3 swords. So, in other words, no matter how he carries on from here, he is likely to be stabbed from a range of different directions. So then, the 10 of Wands, the burden. This is the burden people in America are carrying, the workers are carrying, but all sorts of other people who are now on the receiving end or not on the receiving end of federal agencies. So, for the first time, SNAP for children is going to not be available. You've got all this, because people don't understand what government workers do, right? There's a couple of myths about being a government worker. One myth is, oh, you work for the government, you must make shitloads of money. Well, no. Some do and a lot don't. Second, most people don't have any idea what government workers actually do. And one of the, I won't call it a benefit of the shutdown, but one of the things that the shutdown highlights is how many jobs impact on other people, whether that's processing tax returns or whether it's managing national parks or, more importantly, airports that are soon going to be closed. You know, let's have a look at airports in a moment. Farmers who got shafted by Trump's tariffs, like they are selling zero soybeans to China, then they arranged for the billions of dollars payout to compensate. Where is the fiscal responsibility in this? But they can't access it. And other farmers who aren't affected by the tariffs are impacted because their loans don't go through. They need loans to buy the seed for the next 3 months harvest, and they can't get it. So it's affecting people in the city, it's affecting people in the country, and it's affecting everyone in between. It's getting to the stage there's very few people who are not affected. So just a quick look at airports. When we're talking about the burden here, quick look at the airports. So more and more workers are claiming benefits, unemployment benefits, if they can. Not all can, of course. Oh, the tower. I asked about airports. What's going to happen, of course, is it's air traffic controllers as well as the screeners and everyone. If the air traffic controllers go out, they can't be replaced. You can't roll in the army and expect them to actually do that, and so forth. This is why it's going to be catastrophic for Trump. And I think the airports will be the spearhead for the real catastrophe for this. Okay, didn't expect the tower. I expected a bit of adversity, a bit of delay. The tower, well, they operate out of towers, don't they, the air traffic controllers? Okay. You keep the planes from running into each other, Donald. Off you go, pet. You know. Shocking. Shocking. So, now, with the shutdown too, just see. The other thing that's happening is it's highlighting, you know, in that previous video I was talking about Mitch McConnell being the richest senator from the poorest state. What this is going to highlight as well is how many hardcore red states are dependent on government agencies. Because this is the third myth of the day, viewers, that if you vote Republican, somehow you benefit from small government. You don't need the government. Keep the government out of, you know, my world. Give me my gun and I'll look after my own sort of mentality. No, the majority of Medicaid and food stamps goes to the hardcore red states who keep mysteriously voting in Republicans. Okay, so I don't think I'll do more on the shutdown right now. We'll all just keep watching it. I'm not seeing an end in the next little while. It'll have to be brought to an end because the government will fall to its knees. You would think that would bring them all to the table, but we'll see. Okay, so I want to have a look at Barr, who's going up for appointment. Is it Edward Barr? Someone Barr. I'll just refer to him as Barr. He's going up for confirmation hearings. I suspect he's going to get in. The Democrats will give him a grilling, but my feel is he's going to get in. So we'll just see about the man. Just a moment. What's his story with Barr? He pays attention to detail in the mouth of the City King. He's got the star on top. That bodes well. And compromise. Okay, sorry about the muttering, viewers. Part of the process. It's highly technical muttering. Okay. So he's already thinking about the harvest. If you'd asked me 2 weeks ago about Barr, I would have said he's looking, have I done enough to get this job as the Attorney General of the United States of America. His lifetime dream. Have I done enough? Looking at the hub. But you know what? My feel, as of right now, is he's thinking, oh my God, do I really want the job alongside the Mad King? The King of Pentacles, Trump's turned up again. He's really looking at and evaluating, why the hell did I put my hand up for this? I don't think he's altogether happy if he does get appointed. I think he's only beginning to realise two things. I think he's only beginning to realise that things are really bad with the Trump administration. I'm sure he's had conversations with Whitaker. Now, as I've said before, the acting Attorney General and the one who's most likely to come in, don't tell me they haven't had conversations. Of course they have. So Whitaker, as the messenger boy that Trump put in to go and find out what does the Mueller probe do, you know, what are they doing next, has come back and gone, fuck, and followed by, oh my God, because he knows at least the big strokes of what Mueller's got. And I think it's only now that Barr has realised what they've got. So in other words, he's going to be the captain on the Titanic. Excellent. Who would want that gig? Well, you might get stuck. So I'm seriously hoping he does get the job. I'm really hoping. But that's my perverse nature, viewers. Okay. We've got to look at these two cards before we come to the outcome card. He gets the Queen of Cups, the sort of the Lady Di card and stuff. He's not without compassion. I thought he was a bit hard line and comes across as really sort of macho and dull. But there's more compassion to him than meets the eye. And that compassion is driven by idealism. So the star, inspiration and hope. And in the case of America, it's the idealism of America as an ideal state, as an egalitarian state, all the things that it isn't, but tells itself on a daily basis is. He's bought it hook, line and sinker. He's grown up in that tradition. So he still believes it. So what that means, I think it bodes quite well for this card. So he's driven by idealism, more than I thought. And this is the card. It's a very dignified card. The Nine of Pentacles, it's a robed figure. I think this is him. He will try and do his best, the hat of learning here, to be fair-minded. In other words, I don't think he's going to come in as a toe cutter on behalf of Trump at all. I think he's going to try and do the right thing. Well, this is interesting too, because it's a bit like Gorsuch and some of them. We who are not of the right, centre and left, who are uncomfortable, I'm saying we, I'm Australian, why does it bother me? But it's never good anywhere to have conservative judges who tend to roll back people's personal freedoms and rights. But Gorsuch and others have proven they're not so much a threat with new legislation because they're inherently conservative. They will uphold existing laws by and large. We'll see with Roe versus Wade, but that's a dedicated story in itself. So I think if Barr gets in, and I think he will, he's welcome to the gig, and I think you could have someone worse in there. There could be a worse Trump appointment. Trump, of course, because he's going to be fair-handed, will hate him and be at war with him, okay, within 5 minutes. Because I think, even though he said those things, he was obviously trying to appeal to Trump to get the gig. He's on a 2-beat delay. Careful what you wish for, Barr, because that's exactly what's happened. That's what Trump picked up on. That's why he was the #1 candidate. And now, you know what? He might get the worst job in the world. Ha! All I can say about that, viewers. Ha! Okay, Mueller. What's he up to? What's happening? When are we going to see a tsunami of indictments? We so need that. Okay, tell me about Mueller. Just a minute, viewers. I just want to give the cards a really good mix-up here. Let's have a look at the mighty Mueller. Oops. What's happening with Mueller? Mueller. Okay. Yes, let's see what's happening here. All right. Now, with Mueller, now, hand of God. He's just one removed from God at this stage. We've got to all hope with Mueller that there's so much resting on him and his integrity, and we have to keep the faith at this stage. Now, it's Pentacles, which is money. What I would say about that is it's certainly not Mueller being money grabbing or anything, you know. If they cut off the money tomorrow, I think he's committed enough. He'd continue what he was doing and work out some sort of payment later. He's not driven by money, so it's not about him. It's speaking to the money. And as I often call this card, the Fool's Gold card, that's him following the money. Representing law and order, the Hierophant. He's in the big chair. Right. Now, underneath this, the card of compromise, giving from the rich to the poor. Again, I don't think that's the actual inference in this reading, right? There's the scales of justice are here again. I think he is, the trade-offs they're talking about is I'm sure he's done dozens, if not hundreds, of plea deals now. If you do not want to go to jail for the 87 things you've done, person who's indicted, then you best tell me what you know. Right, so I think it's speaking to the plea deals. Nostalgia. There's nostalgia over him at the moment in this reading. I read that as he would really like it to be winding up now as much as anyone else in America. I think this is a longing for his previous life before that. That would be when he had a life, okay? And obviously for the last 2 years he hasn't had a life, poor Barr. So I think he's getting to the stage where it is affecting him personally. And he's longing for the end as much as anyone else. The Page of Cups, the message that's coming out. This can be a very creative and imaginative card. I don't think those are the traits of Mueller again. I think this is more inferring and implying with this Page of Cups the nefarious dealings that he will reveal. I'm going to do a little qualifier on that using the Sibylla Oracle cards. So, with Mueller and his extraordinary team, right, we know they've been working really hard. Also, whenever he does, and I'll ask again, I can't promise you I'll get an accurate outcome on timing, but I will ask, what they will reveal in their reports. Okay, another digression, please don't worry about Barr stopping the release of the report. Don't worry about a terrible, irresponsible, immoral Senate blocking it. They may well try and block it. Why wouldn't they block it? It's going to be very bad news. Of course they're going to try and block it. But in this age of investigative journalism and the technical things, we will find out what is in it. So the Democrats will either push for that, or we will see more clumsily unredacted notes. We will have his speaking indictments, which say everything in the public record. Don't worry about that. It's ugly and unnecessary, and I'm sure people will try and stop it, but it won't stop it. I can assure you of that. So back to the clarifier here. On the page of cups. So summing up for you about Mueller, he's investigating the shonky money. He has the authority. He's been doing endless deals. He's really looking forward to it. Oh, what I was about to say was that these cases are going to go on much longer after the submission of the big report. There's no doubt. Page of Cups. Oh, Cupid love. How cute. It's Cupid. Let's put it this way. People are going to love what they hear. Okay? Now, it's like, I'm not the only reader to be saying this. And I'm not reassuring you blandly and blindly, oh, everything's going to be okay. It's a very difficult, complicated time for America to reinvent itself. It's really, really, really important to claim transparency and action from politicians. It had to get this bad to move forward. But this is a card of love and celebration. So when this crap emerges, right, I think America the Nation has had this card before in relation to this. The creativity and imagination that is inherent, this is not Mueller's stuff, will cause celebration. So he's going to be pointing out the shonky deals. I'll just do a quick one here on Republicans. Republicans, just a one-carder. How will the Republicans fare with the Mueller report? Because I need to do a full reading, a really detailed reading on the GOP. This is the GOP and Mueller, just a hint of it. Ten of Swords. All of them that are swallowing their own bile at the moment, knowing he's bent and all of that. I'll just say, this is the GOP after Mueller brings in his report. Okay, thrilled as I am by that, I do want to make a brief attempt when it will come down. So, can't guarantee you, we all know about tarot and timelines, right? But let's see. Okay, the Mueller report. Let's see. Will it be... Oops. Ooh. Continuing that theme. The Mueller report. Will it be in February? Let's just try for February. Will it be in February? Will it be in February that we'll see the GOP crying and not sleeping at night? GOP. Sorry. Mueller in February. Yes, we're waiting. Oh, yeah. Okay, not something that speaks to time frames, but we're waiting for the ship to come in. It's going to have a big clubbing effect. Are we not over the Queen of Pentacles in so many ways? What does it mean here? I'm thinking in terms of when is Mueller bringing it out. This could be the Queen of Pentacles in the sense of Nancy Pelosi will be in the driver's seat when it happens. So it's not telling us when, but I'm reading this particular Queen of Pentacles in the light of the Mueller revelations as Nancy Pelosi, mother of the nation, at least in a caretaker role. I can't tell you, viewers, how strongly I feel Nancy has a really big role to play now. She's a really good foil against Trump. She's as tough as nails. But the Dems need fresh blood for 2020. But I think this will be Nancy taking over the helm when the crapola hits the fan. Okay, so I've got to go now because I've got to do the next one. Bye.